onto the front, which is cutting this bracket off here. Now we got it on the frame. We're gonna have to replace this inner fender and this skirt like we did on that side over there, which I've already went through and drilled. The spot welds are holding here, so basically I just need to do is do these spot welds here. I think it stopped somewhere in here. And then do all these ones out. You separate this panel from this. You can tell it's pretty rusty inside, so hopefully won't tear this up too much when we take it off there. Rusted here. Likely our new panel does come with this angle piece here. And then kind of like we did there, we'll set the fender on there and try to get our fender holes lined up. And that way everything's should be good front to back if it's all lined up. The fenders, that'll get us right down there in the ballpark. And that's kind of the plan for this afternoon. So let me see if I can't get this ground down and tacked up and molded before the day's over. Fender skirt and inner fender, front fender out. And this was pretty rusty and crusty, so I ended up just cutting this out, and then we're going to patch this piece in. Since we tore it up pretty good getting out of there, I went ahead and just made one out of some 20 gauge sheet metal and stick this thing on there, clamp it in place, try to put my inner fender in, and then with that all together, I'm going to set the fender on here. We've got everything set up where we want it. Everything's looking pretty good. We went through with the Sharpie and marked out our holes. Basically drew a line here with an arrow. That way I know to drill my holes on this side of our line on both sides. And same thing in the bottom there. On that back one, we got that best we could. And then we're going to have to come through here, pull the fender, pull the inner fender, and then just drill this panel out, which we've already got holes from our previous panel that we took out. And then that's just kind of double check, make sure that these holes line up good. Just don't mess with an aftermarket fender, so just kind of get the best we can. We've got our bolts holding the inner fender tight up against the bottom of the fender. So basically the next step is to blow all this apart, drill a bunch of holes, and while I got it out, I'm going to sand this down. So it's easier to sand this with like 80 grit off the Bronco than it is trying to get my DA down inside here and stuff. So I'm going to blow that apart real quick and then get that all prepped out. Finish drilling some holes, set it back in there, double, triple check on my measurements, and then go ahead and burn that thing in. So we got that, I need to drill a hole here and weld that in, but we've got this thing all tacked in, or spot welded in. I still got to make, I had the piece, listen, I don't know where it went, so I'll have to make a new piece. It was just a piece that sat flush here, came up, and then broke out on a 90, and it came in here somewhere, so I'll have to weld that in and drill a couple spot welds in here to attach that, and then we'll weld this and grind the back side. Basically the piece here was pretty rusty when we peeled the two layers apart. And then, so that's it. Got it pretty well tacked in, locked in, and so we buzzed it down. So the next step is we'll grind that down, fill that in, and throw the fender on. So tomorrow I think Phil's gonna come and give me a hand peeling some seam sealer. We're gonna do some work on the inner fender there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call that a night.